Thank you for joining us today. My name is Elle, and I'm joined, as always, by
Reed
and Danny.
Yay! This is Voice Podcast, which is designed for you and gives you an inside look on all things being a student at St. Lawrence College entails. If you hear something you like, or you have a topic idea, guest suggestion, or anything else that relates to this podcast, let us know by calling our extension 1677. Like us, leave a comment, and follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and SoundCloud.
That's all of them.
didn't miss a beat.
Today we're going to be talking about Halloween.
Spooky stuff.
Spooky season.
And as you might notice, it's a little different today. We are at St. Larry's Pub, which is the pub that at the college.
Yeah, you might hear some of the background noise with everyone involved, and
it's part of our aesthetic now.
Yes.
Shout out to St. Larry's.
And if you like the pub, well, you should like the pub because it's great. But if you like us recording at the pub, let us know if you want to have questions next time we're recording at the pub. Just come approach us. If you see us walking down the hall, call the extension, message us on Instagram or all of our social medias, and let us know. And you can more involvement from you would always be great.
Always.
Exactly.
We always encourage it.
All right, let's get into it.
All right, so Halloween. You know what? One of the things that I love about Halloween are Halloween movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
And then, but I don't really know how to classify a lot of times, like if it's horror or whatever. Like for example, Army of Darkness. Have you guys ever seen Army of Darkness?
Nope.
No.
Oh
no.
my! It's a great movie, but it's funny, it's campy, but it's with skeletons and I don't know about ghosts, but it's just really horror-ish.
What's it about?
So this guy, Ash, gets transported back in time, right? Because through the Necronomicon, the Book of the Dead.
Wow, this sounds interesting. I'm intrigued.
Right. Well, this is the third installment of a series, so it's a little. The first two were more horror, gore.
Okay.
And then this one is a lot more campy, fun.
Yeah.
So he gets transported back in time into like medieval ages. They're like in castles and stuff, so they tell him it's like you got to go find the Necronomicon so that you can get back to your time. So he goes out and they tell him like say the certain words and they have to be said like this, but he doesn't say them like that.
Right.
So he brings out the dead, they come back to life and not zombies, they're skeletons, so he has to take his, modern knowledge and everything that's in the trunk of his car, to basically fight off the Army of Darkness.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's
Wait,
just...
can you say that word again? Necronomicon.
Necronomicon.
Necronomicon. It's like Comic-Con.
It's like, but for Necronomicons.
Yes.
It's inked in blood and bound in human flesh. It's
So is that? But do you guys do that a lot? Like, is it Halloween season? Like, do you get into the horror movie kind of thing? Like, it's just like every night I'm gonna watch a horror movie for all of October, or like, do you guys have
some of October?
And I watch horror movies throughout the entire year.
Okay.
I love scary movies. I like them when they scare me because they don't usually. I start a movie.
What is it about being scared in a movie that you love, or like something about the genre of horror film?
Because being scared is a negative emotion, right? But we seek out these movies. So what is it that you like about it?
I get adrenaline when I'm scared, right? So you get that amped up. And how I start movies is I always predict what's going to happen. So I want to know in my head, okay, I think this is going to happen. And when it doesn't happen, that is the best feeling ever. When you're wrong in a movie and it's some twist or crazy things happen, you're like, oh my God, this is such a good movie. You get so into it.
Right.
I like the psychological ones get me a little bit more.
Right. Yeah.
My favorite one is Haunting in Connecticut.
Okay.
It's not super scary, but the reason I love it so much was because it was inspired by, all those different documentaries where they like explore haunted houses and scary stories and people share theirs. So this was based on a documentary called A Haunting in Connecticut.
Is that the movie with Ryan Reynolds?
I don't know.
I know he's in a house scary movie.
I don't think it's The Haunting in Connecticut. Because it's not usual actors that are in it because it's based on a real person's description.
Okay.
In this documentary. So that's why I like it, because the way that they did it was they actually took every single thing that this person described and put it into a real movie, and the imagery was all there and it was crazy.
Okay.
So is it based off of a book, or is it like just based off of just?
No, it's based off the documentary A Haunting in
okay.
Connecticut. So they went to
By the
this
same name?
person's.
Right.
Yeah, well, it's A Haunting in Connecticut, and The Haunting in Connecticut is the movie.
So you can differentiate them. A and the.
and the. But it's a real documentary. So they went to this house, and this person described the different experiences that her and her son had, and then they made this movie off of it, where it's a son and a mom, and they moved to this house, and all this crazy
the
stuff
house is
happens.
haunted.
The house is haunted, but it possesses the son because he's sick, so he's weak.
Does he kill everybody? Is it like one of those things where like the son, like somebody's possessed by the house?
Don't ask me, man. I don't know.
I mean,
And then he does he kill like the whole family?
No.
No.
So basically, it takes him back to the family that was there before.
Oh.
And they did all kinds of crazy stuff, like testing on humans. There's this room in the basement that the crazy doctor dude who lived there would like try all these different experiments on humans, and then paranormal things would happen.
You know, eerily enough, that sounds a lot like the premise of Ouija. Have you seen the movie Ouija?
I haven't seen the movie Ouija.
Is it based off of the Ouija board?
So it is based off of the Ouija board, and from my understanding, I mean, Ouija is just a board. It's just they just came like Parker Brothers made it, right? So it's not like
Right.
it doesn't have anything like hugely like in the past or anything like that. But so they made a movie Ouija, just like they made a movie about Battleship. Right.
True.
So but it's actually well done. I liked Ouija because like I knew what I was getting into. You know, like I'm going to go see a
But if
movie
you're
about a
gonna
board
compare
game.
it
So you like predictable scary movies?
It wasn't, and that's what I liked about it because I'm like, you know, I know what I'm getting into. It's just gonna be like a fun horror movie. It's like, you know,
Right.
I can
Super
like,
campy,
super
like,
campy,
yeah,
like you
yeah.
said. I probably predict everything that happened, and then all of a sudden I couldn't. You know,
That's
and then,
the best.
And then it turned out into a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like granted, I mean, it's not great. It's not like
So
oh,
it's like B movie quality, but you got yourself into it, and there was something about the storyline. and
Exactly.
something was happening in the movie
Exactly.
that you were really intrigued by.
yeah, because it did because like you know, like you said, it's like I can predict it, and then when you couldn't.
You couldn't.
It just became it was a different experience. The movie was just a completely different experience, and it was great.
That's good. What about you, Reed? What's your favorite movie?
Well, see, like I'm not much of a horror genre person myself. Like,
Okay,
I'm not,
okay.
like, super into it. Like I think, I mean, like one thing that I did see was Insidious, which is also just like a good movie.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. And you go
Debatable.
Debatable. See?
I'm with you on this
Debatable.
one. I'm with you.
But you're a horror fanatic.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe is that really cliche of me to be like Insidious is a good movie? Like is that very much of like an outsider's perspective?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
That's what people are like. Oh, it's the scariest movie I've ever seen.
Right.
Like,
Well,
is
wasn't
it though?
It wasn't the scariest.
Is it?
It wasn't about how
I think
scary it was.
you need to raise your level on scary movies here.
It wasn't about how scary it was, though. It was just the fact that it was like for me, like a quality movie. Whereas, like, I've witnessed a lot of other horror movies that are just so bad.
Yeah,
So-
you're right.
And I think that's like with me, Ouija.
Right. But the purpose, like, isn't the purpose of a lot of horror movies is to be kind of a bad movie?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. That's why I like the psychological ones because, like you said, it's more of a storyline.
Right.
So then you actually have the opportunity to catch the feels rather than just like gory movies. You know, you're just like, okay, you're just running around killing a bunch of people or jump scares.
Jump scares,
Oh.
that's what gets me. And so, back to the whole genre of movies, right? So, like, I was on Netflix last night and I went to horror. They have a Halloween
Yeah.
section now for Halloween. And so they have the Halloween section, which is obviously a lot of horror movies, gore, and ghosts, and that sort. And then you go into the horror movies, and then you have a lot of the slashers, Scream.
Right.
And there was even Scary Movie on there. And then you went on to thrillers.
Thrillers.
And see, and that for me is more of a horror movie. Right? Because like going back to what you said about the psychological part, you know, it's like it doesn't have to deal so much with ghosts
So
or
it's not
monsters.
Halloween based. It's basically just something that messes with your head.
Yes.
Exactly. That
Yes.
really like
So would
you
Shutter,
feel uncomfortable.
Would Shutter Island be like considered?
I would consider
a
it.
Halloween movie.
I would
maybe?
consider
You know
it,
what?
yeah.
Yeah, and it's definitely that has a really great storyline.
Right,
And the
right.
twists and everything.
Well,
That's
I still
a good
haven't
movie.
seen it, and I know like
I'm not gonna give it away because
spoiler
it
alert,
is-
I know it's an older movie, but still.
I won't say anything because you have to watch it
Okay.
because it's pretty interesting.
I watched it for the first time the other day, actually.
Really?
And-
It's
Okay.
such an old movie. Catch up. Yeah.
There's so many
Sorry.
movies I gotta catch up on.
So okay, and one thing too, I also really enjoyed the first It movie,
Me too.
Me too.
like the,
yeah.
the newest version. Obviously, like I've
Oh, the
seen-
new one. Yeah,
the new
I'm on both. I'm on
Yeah,
board
yeah.
with both
No,
of
I've
them.
seen both of them.
Yeah.
Like as a horror fan?
Yeah,
do you
so
like
I
those
actually
movies?
read the book
Right, okay,
too.
okay.
So and there's I don't know, there's back and forth because people are like they leave so much out, but they're a long. It's long book, so obviously you're gonna leave some stuff out.
Right.
I really enjoyed it. The storyline's good. I think it's solid. A lot of people don't like the second one.
I didn't really care for the second part either.
Part two,
but-
you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the whole premise behind it is because the first one, if you kind of look back, there's a lot of holes.
Right. Okay.
So within the storyline and everything. So then the second one is a little bit more boring to some people because it's filling in all those holes.
Right.
So it's a good to watch, like if you had the time to just watch like one and then two right away. So then you see the
Well, because
whole.
the book goes back and forth between when they were older and
when they were younger.
right? So it's pretty much the same story.
Exactly, but it's split into movies, so it has to be different.
See, that makes
Right.
sense. So it's like if you're gonna take the time to watch all three Lord of the Rings, might as well take the time to watch both It's.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
they're all what, like 7, 8 Harry Potter movies?
Oh, I've never sat down to watch.
Is there 10? How many Harry Potter movies?
I've seen 2 Harry Potter movies.
Oh,
so-
no.
Oh wow.
Oh, no.
Now,
I
would,
guess-
would that constitute, like, I guess maybe not so much the movie itself, but could you take the Harry Potter story and turn it into a horror story?
Sure. I mean, you
Yeah.
could turn anything into a horror story.
That's true.
That's true. Well, I was just thinking because I mean, like, we're dealing with like trolls and monsters and
Yeah.
magic. So I mean,
Dark
like,
magic,
dark magic.
right?
So I mean, it could you could even like classify Harry Potter as a
It's a
type
thriller.
of
Oh.
Halloween movie, maybe for
Yeah.
a certain age.
Maybe,
you know,
yeah.
but definitely like it could. You could make an argument anyway.
Well, yeah,
sure.
because I guess when you're that age, like how many kids, like when we were kids, dressed up as Harry Potter? So so then
True.
what classifies, getting into costume and watching those kind of movies?
What about what
Yeah.
about costumes? What about Halloween costumes? Do they have to be scary, or can you just be anything that's not
No,
you?
you can be anything you want.
No, I respect the funniest costume. Like
Right?
something like
Me
if
too.
it's either like a pun or if it's just something that's came out of the ordinary you wouldn't think of, and it's just like, oh, that's a really.
I really like DIY costumes
Yes,
too.
I agree.
Like the one where you get like literally you just get a clear garbage bag and you like tie it around and then you blow up a bunch of mini balloons and put them in the garbage bag and then you're a bag of jelly beans.
Wow. You know, you can even put like a quarter in there, and you could be like a one of those bubblegum machines.
Oh, a bubblegum machine. Yeah, you could do it.
I mean, like, but the possibilities are endless when you're talking about Halloween DIY
Yeah.
costumes.
And I mean, I do appreciate like people who take the time and effort to do like their scary makeup
Yeah.
and all that. I'm unfortunately not skilled enough to do any of that.
Well, like, I know for me, for Halloween, I can definitely appreciate like women a little bit better because it's so hard to put on makeup.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's not, like I'll put like I'll do like my eyes, what's that stuff, the
Eyeliner or mascara?
mascara,
both.
all of it.
All of it. Just throw it all.
It all
on.
seems really hard.
It is, but no, I appreciate. It's like like I'll come to school and it's like you did your makeup, good for you. It's like that took a long time.
Yeah.
Because it's like I only do it once a year, and it's like it's not easy.
No.
Well, a friend of mine, she loves Halloween, and she like goes out like October is her month.
Right.
She goes all out in her costumes. Like she really pre-plans. Like one year she went as like Hellboy.
Nice.
That's so cool.
And she like went the full get up, like painted her entire face. Like it was, yeah. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that is really cool. Was it DIY too?
DIY?
Like do it yourself?
Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I think
really
she's,
cool.
like, yeah.
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 Yeah, no, this year being Beatrix Kiddo from
Oh,
Kill
nice.
Oh.
because I've always wanted to like love those movies.
Yeah. Is that a
But I've
horror
never been
movie?
blonde.
There's a lot of gore.
It's an action movie.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It's one, and it's almost like if you rewatch it, it's almost a little cheesy at some
is.
parts.
Well, I mean, in that debate, like pretty much every Quentin Tarantino movie would be almost like a horror movie,
Right? Like
'Cause
it's a
they're that
thriller
violent.
action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
that's
kind of
true.
category.
Right.
Like I wouldn't show it to my kids, even though I watched it when I was a kid. But
Can you put Kill Bill in the Halloween category in Netflix?
I don't know. See, that's the thing. Like, I think, especially if we're somewhere like Netflix, like they would probably stick to the horror, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
jump
Well, there's the
scare.
other side of Halloween movies too, where it's like, your Halloween
Transylvania.
Town and your
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Hocus
yeah.
Pocus and
Yeah.
all those like
those
classic
classics, yeah.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Is
I'll
Nightmare
put a
Before
spell on
Christmas?
you.
Is Nightmare Before Christmas a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie?
Both.
Both? Like you
It's
can watch
both.
it both times?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I mean they live in Halloween land, but they
But it's
destroy
Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? So I guess it depends on when you want
Interesting.
to watch it.
Yeah,
you
that
can
is
watch,
an October to December kind of movie.
You
Yeah.
just watch it on repeat for 3 months. That's all you,
you
have.
just have it on your TV on a loop.
Oh, that's
But
great.
that's also a great. It's a great movie, and then I think it's great for Halloween because like Tim Burton does a lot of those Halloweeny type, like Edward Scissorhands or. Even like the Chocolate Factory movie, that's not anything to do with Willy Wonka,
Like-
because I know there's two. It's Willy Wonka and Charlie.
Charlie and the
I don't
Chocolate
know-
Factory.
I don't know which one is the newest one.
Charlie and the Chocolate
Is it Charlie?
Factory.
Okay, so
I haven't
even
seen either, so
okay. Well, it
I've seen Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
it's kind of it's like a cautionary tale kind of movie, but
Right.
these children die. You know what I mean?
They do.
So like and same thing. It's kind of creepy. It's at least in the first one. You know, like Gene Wilder. He's like in
oh,
the
like
tunnel.
the original.
Yeah, even the new one. Even the new one. You know, and
It's weird.
It's weird, and it can be. It can be scary, I guess, if you're young or you're watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Depends on the person.
It depends on the person. So like, could that even be? See, and this is why the pub is
Thank
so
you.
great. It's like now we got chips.
Yay, we got chips!
We should do every episode here.
Come to St. Larry's. These chips are so good. Sometimes I like to add a side of mayo. Or you can get the Chipotle mayo too.
Yep.
So
No,
good with
Chipotle
these
mayo
chips.
is the
Chipotle.
best. Yeah.
Chipotle mayo. I want one too.
So let's get into like some scary stories. Do we have any scary stories that we want to tell, or from our own experiences, or
Do you have a scary story that you
do I
want to
have a
tell?
scary story? I mean, it's not really scary.
I'm scared already.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Everyone's scared of me. So, so one time I was chilling in my apartment. It was actually my dad's apartment, and I was in the living room, and I heard this loud bang, like it was like a gunshot, like kind of thing. And so I went over to the kitchen, and the salad bowl was just right on the floor in the kitchen. So I thought, oh, well, that's weird. So I just put it on the countertop, went back to the living room, did whatever I was doing, and then about 15 minutes later, another like loud, like even louder bang happened.
Ooh.
And I went over back into the kitchen, and the salad bowl was like right back.
Where
right
it
on the
was,
floor,
where you
right
dropped
on the
it.
floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so like I put it on a place in the counter where there's no way that anybody, and I was home alone. There's no way.
A draft, maybe?
Logical one over here. Danny, do you believe in ghosts?
Okay, so I don't believe in ghosts.
Oh.
I do and I don't. I do and
You're
I
getting
don't.
haunted for sure.
Well, yes, but I do and I do because I want to like think critically. It's like no, there's a draft or there's like something happened that there's no way that a ghost did it. But there have been some inexplicable things that have happened to me, right? And it's not like I wouldn't say scary, but like just things that are misplaced, or you know, like there are things that I always put in certain places, you know. And when I used to live like on my own by myself, I have no one else in my house, and it's like, why did this thing, like, why is it not there, you know? Or there was one time and I was like eating something, and I was like, man, I don't want to get up. I wish that there was like a trash can right here so I could just throw this away. And I was like, oh, well, there is. It's right here. But usually my trash can is like way over there. Just like I've had this like weird little like nonchalant, like it's not really scary, but just things that I can't explain happen. So to me, it's like I want to be logical, but at the same time,
You just don't know.
I
You're
just don't
open
know.
to it. You're open to the
Yes.
idea of it.
Yes.
I lived in an apartment, and I had this doll that my grandmother left me when she passed away. And I lived by myself. There was nobody else living there. And this doll, I would put it in the same spot every single day. And every single time I came home, it would be like by my door. Like as if, and I kept it right beside my bed, like my bedside table, and it would always be right by my door. And it was always so freaky, and I like felt weird things. Like sometimes, like when I opened my window, it would like close on its own, or like cabinets would be open, like drawers would be open.
Was it a porcelain doll?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, she's just like cotton, like fabric
Okay.
doll, but But my thing with ghosts is that I don't think that ghosts are necessarily bad. So
Okay.
like that
Like
ghost
Casper.
or like that spirit, like
They're just there to mess with you.
yeah, like that spirit or like just like I don't know. I felt like it was a good spirit, and they were just kind of there to keep me company, or they wanted company, or whatever. Like I never got bad vibes
Right.
living there, right? Like sometimes you've ever just like walked into a room and it's just like so like almost like cold, and you're just like I just don't like it in this room.
Yes, that does happen, and the Sixth Sense explained that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, it's like when ghosts are mad, it makes the room.
Yeah,
cold.
like when it's like a not happy or like a negative energy within the room, then you're just you can feel it.
That is 100% true.
Mm-hmm.
There are, I do feel like places do have certain energies, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I do agree that like so I have walked into places,
For sure.
and especially like places where like something bad happened.
Right?
You know,
I took a tour of KP last weekend.
Yeah.
And there are some certain spots in that prison, I mean, in the whole place, but like there's certain areas in there where you walk in and you can feel something.
Just like you
Like
don't want to
it's-
be there.
yeah, exactly.
Something
Kingston
happened here.
too is a very haunted city.
Well-
They have the haunted tours shout out
Which is
going on
awesome, by
right
the way.
now,
Yeah.
and they take you to all kinds of places. And there are some crazy stories like that
Oh, yeah.
alleyway by like Shea Piggy and all that. There's like an old story about how this woman who was pregnant in the 1860s or 50s, her husband strangled her in that alleyway. And then people say that you can like see her or you hear her sometimes, like you hear like a crying woman and like all things like that. Like Kingston, some of these stories are crazy. Have you guys ever heard of the abandoned insane asylum in Kingston?
No,
No.
I mean, I've heard like sort of murmurs of it, like the fact that that place is super haunted and you can't even go in
Right.
there.
Well, because you grew up in Kingston.
Yeah.
Right? So have any of your friends, like when you were growing up, did any of your friends ever try to go?
No, none of my friends or anything. I've heard,
No?
like, I've
Now,
heard, like,
where is
people-
this?
Okay, so it's actually really close
Yeah,
to here.
it's right by Lake Ontario Park, actually.
Yeah.
Like, right on the water.
Okay.
So it's like right behind Providence Care.
Yeah.
There's an abandoned building. I can read the story if you guys want.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
Okay.
do.
Please.
Okay. So during the mid 1800s, before the construction of the Rockwood Insane Asylum for the criminally insane, Kingston Pen was overrun by mentally ill and criminally insane inmates. To solve this problem, the Rockwood Criminal Lunatic Asylum was built on the shores of Lake Ontario, close to the penitentiary, and it was built by the prisoners themselves. Construction began in 1859, and although it was not completed until 1870, men began to occupy portions of the building as early as 1862. Female prisoners were admitted during this time period and lived in the old horse stables that remained from when the property was a private villa. In 1868, the female inmates were also moved inside. Once completed, the asylum housed 300 patients. This was the criteria for an inmate to be admitted into the Rockwood Criminally Lunatic Asylum.
Criminally lunatic.
Criminally lunatic. That's criminally lunatic.
First of all, that doesn't even roll off the tongue
That's
nicely.
what it says. I know.
But the name, you know, it sounds a lot like Arkham Asylum.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when you started reading that, I was like, that's Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, so let me just I'll skip over this. So basically, you had to be insane.
Right.
There were certain
Quote, unquote,
classes.
insane.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of it is like normal mental health
Yeah.
issues that people have today.
Which is a real issue, by the way.
Yeah, so medical goal, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so the medical goal in the mid 1800s was not to cure them, but rather to calm them. So chloral hydrate and alcohol were used to pacify patients, and they were also often bled Dr. Litchfield. The only physician at Rockwood at the time had a simple treatment plan that relied heavily upon a pretty free use of alcohol by day and sedative by night. Treatment also involved restraints, blistering, leeching, enemas, and bloodletting. It had been reported that during this period, physicians may have performed some of the first neurosurgical procedures or lobotomies on patients at Rockwood using trephines to drill into patients' skulls. So yeah, so people go there and it's said to be pretty creepy.
Yeah.
So we should definitely go there.
Well, so
Our next
you
live
can't even,
episode,
like, it's
take
gated
the
up.
Ouija board.
But that whole place is gated off. Like
Yeah,
like
and there's
apparently-
security. So
Yeah.
people used to break in all the time. When
I'm
I was in
sure,
high
yeah.
school, it was a huge thing. We all used to go. I didn't like it because I was like, this
So
is
you've been in
creepy.
there?
I went in there, and that's kind of where I was like, sometimes you just, when you go in somewhere, you're just like, I don't want to be here. Like,
Right.
this is just not.
So like you step foot, and then you were just like, I'm out.
Yeah, so we went at night because it's security. It's locked. I think they actually barricaded it up a lot better now because before we
Yeah.
would climb in through the windows.
Yeah.
But you wanted to go at night, so that security, like you could kind of dodge them.
Right.
But yeah, so you climb in through the windows and you just have your little flashlight, and you start in the basement, which is the scariest part. That's where like they said the lobotomies and the leeching and all that used to happen.
Basements are usually the scariest
right?
part.
Like that's why do bad things always happen in the basement?
That's why I don't have a basement.
I live in the basement.
I live in a walkout basement, so it's like half a basement. Half just like
Okay,
a
so
backyard.
sometimes you're like bad vibes.
It depends on which half of the house you're in. Yeah.
Depends on my mood, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so that's a very interesting and scary place. There's lots of haunted places around Kingston.
So are we in agreement that there are haunted places in Kingston, like
Oh,
the
yeah.
asylum,
For sure.
and we believe in ghosts
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
some extent,
Yeah.
good or bad,
Spirits,
right?
ghosts, whatever you
Spirits,
want.
Whatever
yeah.
they're called, right? Shall we find out if
Saint Larry?
St. Larry, St. Lawrence? All right,
You
so
want to hold the mic, Danny?
I'll
or-
hold the mic.
okay.
So we got this Ouija board right here. And it's great because the box said you have to be 8 years old to play, which, you know,
Oh, what did you say?
it's 8 years. You have to be 8 years old to summon a demon, but 19 to drink.
That was my favorite. Okay, do you know what questions to ask a Ouija board?
It came with no instructions.
Okay, I know how to do it if you want me
Okay,
to do
yeah,
it.
let's
I've
do
never
it.
done
Okay, so everyone lightly put 2 fingers, no cheating, don't push it, don't put too much pressure. So the first question you ask is, are there spirits present?
I'm not moving it. you
I'm not
guys.
moving. Like you have to touch it so lightly.
I'm barely even touching it. I think it wants to go to
Ooh, I
yes,
think it's going to yes.
but it's moving ever so slowly. So the answer is yes.
Okay, so yes. I mean,
There are spirits at St. Larry.
at St. Larry's Pub, there's spirits. Reed's sweating.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
are it's yes or no questions.
yeah, so move it back to the middle.
Do we have to move it back?
Yeah. So you move it back to like the center,
Okay.
and then I
Um,
usually ask if are you a good spirit?
Are you a good spirit? You guys,
I'm not moving it.
why is this going to no? Why am I scared already?
Is someone pushing it?
I'm not. I'm barely. You said barely touch it.
I am not even. I'm hovering over this.
Okay, someone said,
All right.
said no. Should we warn people? Like, should people leave? No, I'm just kidding. Please come to St. Larry's.
So we're at the pub, and
Don't everyone get out!
everyone is still eating. No one knows that we're haunted.
It's okay. It's okay. We just won't tell anyone. It's our little secret.
All right.
Everyone's
So
just going about their business.
we'll put it back
Not
at the
a
center.
big
We'll
deal.
put it back at the center.
Okay.
Okay. But we can ask them to spell something, right?
Yeah. I usually just ask yes or no because it's easy. But
Okay. So you're a spirit. You're a bad spirit, and you obviously died at some point. Oh my God! You had to take your hand off of it.
wait, can we just ask one more question?
Yeah, let's ask one more question.
Did you die here, like on this specific piece of land?
It's going to no.
Okay.
So it moved here. Okay.
Okay, and you're sure neither one of you are possessed?
No, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
No idea. No idea.
I watched The Exorcist once. I know I don't act like that because I've tried turning my head around before. But other than that, no, I am not possessed.
Okay, so they didn't die here specifically. So no
Right.
one's ever died at
But
St.
they're a
Larry's
bad
Pub.
spirit,
But
and
they're a
they're
bad
here.
spirit. and
Okay,
they're
so we
with
can
us.
ask them to spell something.
Yes.
Okay, so where did you come from?
What's that? Is that a U?
That's a U.
Okay.
Next
It's,
word or letter.
it's just saying you.
Which me? You or me?
You asked the question. You're possessed.
Uh,
Is Danny possessed?
we didn't move it back to the center.
It isn't still the center.
But how the? What you guys know?
I'm not touching it, man.
Well, you are.
I'm like literally like,
It moved faster when you put your hand back on it.
yeah, because I have strong spiritual communication skills. Danny,
I am possessed. But
Danny's possessed.
I've
Okay,
tried-
that's great. We're learning a lot. On this
I can't do
podcast.
it. I can't do it.
So you're a bad spirit.
Maybe there's just a bad spirit in me.
Okay.
That's what it's saying. It's saying that there's something.
There's a
in
bad
you.
spirit inside you.
All right. What do, how do,
You're like, oh no.
so?
Doesn't it make a lot of sense though? You know.
But it, you
I
know,
thought it was gonna be
now-
me.
Now,
Me too.
What about is L also possessed?
Wait, you have to put it in the middle.
Oh, it just wasn't
Here,
gonna
I'll
move.
ask. I'll ask.
Okay.
Am I possessed? I swear. I swear.
But it's pointing to no.
Yeah, but it has to go if like whatever the circle goes over. Is it spelling something? No.
How do we know?
It'll stop like on a letter.
I feel like you guys are moving this.
I'm not moving it. Reed, are you moving it? Why was it confused though? It says no.
Maybe the spirit just left your body.
It was like maybe. It was like, am I? Is she possessed? Nah, she's not
Oh,
possessed.
man.
She's cool.
Or do you like these chips?
Oh, is St. Larry's the best pub? Why is it turning sideways?
I don't know. And do I have to keep my hand positioned in the same place?
Yeah, you put it on like the corner.
I don't think you're supposed to take your hand off of it.
Where is it going?
I have no idea. I think it's just
Says
yes.
St. Larry's is the best pub.
Oh, sweet.
That's what I heard.
Got a little confused on the way there. I think Danny's possessed spirit is a little drunk.
It could be. We
Yeah.
are at the pub.
Yeah, you know.
You know,
It's
I
noon
am
on a
not.
Friday.
It was over there drinking while we were talking about movies,
I think I can see him.
getting all the delicious beers on tap.
All right. Well, I'm thoroughly scared.
Okay, well, I mean,
We
we
just
found
get by
out.
it?
I think we know all that we need to know.
I'm possessed.
You're
Yep,
possessed.
you're
St.
possessed.
Larry's is the best.
Am I possessed?
Oh, yeah.
Mm. Why is this thing turning? It's going towards yes. It's going towards yes. I'm not the only one. Or maybe.
How? Oh, I want to be possessed too.
That's a straight up yes.
Fist bump. Yeah.
I'm not possessed. Now I kind of want to be possessed. It's because my aura is too strong. It's deflecting all of the negative energy.
Okay.
Wait, but should we ask if you're negative?
Yeah. Is
Energy?
Yes. Am I negative energy? Oh.
I don't know. I kind of want to go to the jury on this one.
Oh.
All
You know
right.
it's true.
Debatable.
You know it's true.
No.
All good spirits here.
Good vibe.
Oh man. But was my spirit a bad spirit or was it
Yeah,
just?
yours was okay. I don't know because originally we said, "Is there a spirit here?" And then we said, "Are you a good spirit?" It said no. And then we asked,
If I was possessed.
no, we asked, like, did we ask its name? Like, who it was?
Does it know our future? Does it know our past?
Oh.
Does it know our present?
Or does it just exist? Oh, well, I am thoroughly
Because I don't know. Because then we said, "Where are you?" or whatever. What did we say? And then it said you.
yeah.
Which was like
it
you,
didn't
Daniel.
die here. It didn't die.
It didn't die here.
It's present here. It didn't die here.
No, we asked where it died, and it went to you.
No, we
No,
asked.
Asked where.
Oh yeah, we did.
So I killed him?
So
F.
It's dead inside you, I guess. Something died.
There is something dead inside me.
Your spirit died.
It must be the spirit.
Guys, I want to be possessed too. Just kidding.
Sorry,
kind
no.
of, maybe.
Sorry.
Does anybody know a good exorcist? You can probably take an online course
Wait,
on exorcism.
Get certified.
Do we ask it to like spell our names and stuff? Like is that
Spell
a thing?
its name.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You say like Danny Spirit. Spell your name. S.
Nothing. It's like between an S and an F.
And an R.
Maybe San
And a G?
Francisco.
San Francisco.
Maybe St. Francis.
Maybe.
Second letter.
We don't even have a first.
Your spirit is done with us.
Are you gone? Are you here anymore? What's happening? Oh. Moving again. Back to a
Is
letter.
it still spelling I? S-I?
S-I. Cincinnati. Cincinnati.
Well, like, I think it's
Third
it's
letter.
a name.
Oh, yeah. Maybe it's spelling Sith.
Sid.
Sid.
Sid. Fourth letter?
Is there a fourth letter?
Sidham.
Is that even a name?
Sidham.
Is that
Oh,
ghost
Sid
name?
M. Like a last name.
Oh. Maybe or a middle name, like middle initial.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Do they have
You
middle
can
initials?
ask, is your
What-
name Sid M?
Or what year did you die?
We're asking it too many questions.
Wow, we are asking too many questions.
It's still spelling the name.
Oh?
Sid,
Sidmo?
Sidmo.
Oh, this is the last names though.
Maybe
Sid
he was a clown.
Mo.
That's a good clown name.
Sid Mo?
Oh, Sid Mo.
Oh.
Okay. Is still going. Kinda- is this your drunk spirit?
I guess so. He's like, I don't even know my name. Sid Moss. Sid Mos.
Is it R and an S though?
Sid Mosh.
Sid
Yeah, I
Mosh.
guess R.
Maybe it's an
Nope.
anagram,
because
like
an
Tom
S-
Riddle. Did nobody get that? Nobody? No.
What is that? What are you talking about?
I was just thinking about the spirit. I honestly blacked you out a little bit.
Tom Riddle.
Tom Riddle.
He's an anagram for Lord Voldemort.
Oh,
Ow.
I don't watch Harry Potter.
Oh, that's right. We did discuss that.
Sorry, I fell flat on laughing at that.
I mean, yeah. Harry Potter is where it's at.
All right.
You're welcome, Beth.
Are you done spelling your name?
Oh, I gotta-
Spirit.
Is your name Sid Mo or?
Looks like the spirit
Has abandoned us.
Are you still here?
Oh. Moving back to yes.
It moves so weirdly.
I don't know because it looks like it's like, I don't know. What is the moon for? Like, do you ask it if it's day or night? Did you die during the day? Or at night? Or at noon? I don't. All right.
Okay.
So I think I'm scared enough.
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Should we say bye?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye. Okay.
Well,
So
that
what
was
have we
fun.
learned today?
That
I'm not possessed, which is very surprising.
I would have thought that of all of us, you'd be
Me too.
the one that's most possessed.
Yeah.
These chips are amazing.
St. Larry's Pub chips are really good. So you're possessed.
I'm possessed. You're
You're
possessed.
possessed.
But I'm good.
But you have good spirit. You have a bad spirit.
We don't know that for sure.
I mean, it was pretty set in stone. But
I don't know about all that.
It's debatable.
it's debatable.
All right.
Okay, perfect.
Well, this has been another edition of Voice Podcast, brought to you live from St. Larry's Pub.
Woo, thank you, St. Larry's. Woo. So, I think that was fun. I think we learned a lot.
Absolutely.
Let us know what you think about this podcast, what you think Danny and Reed should do about being possessed.
Exorcist, obviously.
Yeah, if you know any exorcists,
We gotta go
please
get that checked out.
send
Yeah.
a link.
We can exercise each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that how you verb exorcism?
We can go to the gym.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna go up to the Shack after this, since it's real close to St. Larry's Pub. If there's anything you want to see moving forward, our handle on Instagram is at SA Voice Podcast. You can again keep up with the podcast by tuning in on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and SoundCloud. Don't forget to leave us a message at extension 1677. Make sure to check out what's going on, what different kind of events. We have them posted on all the Bristol boards around the college. You can go to the SA front desk and ask, or you can check out our at SA_SLC Instagram and the SASLC.ca website. And don't forget to check out St. Larry's Pub. Thank you so much, St. Larry's.
What's St. Larry's handle? They have their own handle.
Yes, at St. Larry's Pub.
Perfect.
All right.
So easy.
Yes. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
All right.